how's it hanging YouTube? This is King of Heraldic, and today I just thought I'd update my, Heraldic Beast deck. I know the new support is coming out soon, but I figured I'd just kind of give a brief deck profile on this before that does happen, because at least in my personal build, it will change dramatically once the new support comes out. So this is at least just what I'm going to be playing in the few weeks, months, or so until the new stuff comes out. So with that, I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So first for the monsters is 3 of the Heraldic Beast Leo. Now you might probably know that this is the Searcher. He's a 2000 beater, and his effect is whenever he's sent to the graveyard, detached as Xyz material, discarded as cost, sent there from the deck or the field. Anytime he hits the graveyard, he'll net you +1. Search for any Heraldic Beast from your deck to your hand. You can only use the effect once per turn, and the reason this cannot miss timing is because it's a mandatory effect, I do believe. So, it's not mandatory. It's like in Beauty and the Beast. You'll join me for dinner. That's not a request. Anyway, moving on, are 3 of the Heraldic Beast. Aberconway, you play this guy just pretty much because he's a name, and he's a wind, and, well, he's a decent beater. He's 1800. A lot of the times I'll find myself, attacking over something with that if I need to, but for the most part he's just kind of there to serve as sort of fodder, but he does have a kind of a useful effect. If he's in the graveyard, and if you have another one in the graveyard, then you can banish 1 to add a Heraldic Beast from your graveyard to your hand. Normally I guess you'll be adding Leo back to make some sort of play with him, and then just to send it back to the graveyard and search for more. He's pretty useful though. The last 3 of in Heraldic Beast is the Heraldic Beast Twin-Headed Eagle. Now, before I was playing 2, and I've seen other builds play 2, but honestly I really like this at 3, and when the new support comes out I'll definitely be playing 3 as well. What he does is, if he's in the graveyard and you have a face-up Xyz monster with no materials, you can banish him to take 2 other Heraldic Beasts from a graveyard and attach them as Xyz material. So basically, this plus 2 other Heraldic Beasts in the grave equals, you can refill an Xyz monster, which just becomes, very useful and extremely, powerful, because, just getting off a lot of Xyz monsters effects, twice or 4 times, depending on what they are and how long they stick around, is, very good. That's why I like him at 3. And then the last Heraldic Beast, just 2 of the Heraldic Beast Basilisk. A while ago, I was convinced that this was one of the best ones, and it was, but, its effect is kind of not as good nowadays. His effect is that at the end of the damage step, any monster that battles him is destroyed, and the effect does not target, and he doesn't have to remain face up on the field afterwards in order for it to resolve. So it was just really good for clearing problem monsters. If your opponent had anything in defense position, you can take care of that very easily, and he's just really good. He's fine at 2. Might even, when the new support comes out, of course, I'd be dropping him down to 1. I just like playing at least 1 of this guy. That's it for the Heraldic Beast. Now for the support 2, Goblinberg. Now, you really do need something else to help out. I've seen some builds use Level Warrior. That's the thing. It's kind of a debate. Well, not a debate, but you have to decide whether you want to use Goblinberg or Level Warrior. Here are some of the pros and cons, is both of them are susceptible to things like Breakthrough Skill or Fiendish Chain. If they negate your Goblinberg's effect, he'll just stay there on the field. But Level Warrior, at least, you can special summon it, but they still can negate its effect and leave it at a level 3. It's just like whichever one you want to use. You could also use a Photon Thrasher, I guess. But of course that requires you to have nothing. I just like Goblinberg a bit better because he doesn't require me to control nothing or my opponent to control any monsters. He's just kind of more reliable, I feel. And then lastly, the 3 Kage Tokage, which I believe is the better rank 4 support for Xyz spam. It's just so great to go normal summon Leo, special summon Kage. If you can attack for 31 directly, and then Xyz something into something, detach Leo, get your search. It's just so good. And then of course, I bet you know what engine I'm playing to search this out. That's it for monsters. Now for the spells, 1 Snatch Steal, 1 Soul Charge, One Foolish Burial. These are all the one-ofs. Of course, you know, Snatch Steal, get rid of your opponent's stuff. Soul Charge to some reliable big plays, and then One Foolish Burial to send the Leo and get your search. Then, of course, 3 Mystical Space Typhoon, because you really do need to be playing 3. If I could play 4, I would. But I feel like this is just more reliable than some other spell destruction. And then 2 of the Heraldry Reborn. Basically, it's a monster reborn for your Heraldic Beast, but only your Heraldic Beast, so I guess that's the reason why I'm playing 2. I guess you could play 3, but I kind of only like 2 because, not that it's dead, it's just that I almost feel like there are some better things that you could be playing. Speaking of which, 3 of the Advanced Heraldry Art. Now, you've probably heard that this is considered by some to be Miracle Fusion for Xyz, kind of, but not really. Well, upon activation, you special summon 2 Heraldic Beasts from your graveyard, and then immediately Xyz summon an Xyz monster. Of course, it has to require 2 materials. Can't make, you know, one that requires 3, but it's just basically an automatic Xyz monster if you have at least 2 Heraldic Beasts in the grave. And there's no limit on how many of these you can activate per turn, which is amazing, of course. This just allows you to make more than 1 Xyz monster per turn, you know, up to 2 even, or 3 if you're incredibly fortunate. It's just a great card. That's it for spells. Lastly, the traps, just all one-ofs. Not all one-ofs, but here are the one-ofs. Solemn Warning, Bottomless, Compulse, and then a Phoenix Wing, Wind Blast. Just basic monster removal, and a Phoenix Wing, of course, can get rid of other things. Just basically your second Compulse. I might play 2. I think with the new support, I will play 2, definitely. 1 is fine for now. Of course, you know, discard Leo, bounce something, and get a search, so it becomes too good. Then, for the other things, is just 2 chains. Yes, I said 2 chains. Of course, you can play Breakthrough Skill, which maybe you should be, but right now I just have some Phoenix Chains lying around, and as opposed to Breakthrough Skills, and it's also good. Helps stop monster attacks. Basically anything to negate effects, and here is good. Even Divine Wrath if you choose so. That's not bad, discarding Leo. 3 Mind Crush, another discard outlet for Leo, because almost everybody is going to search. And so, going Mind Crush, popping a card out of your opponent's hand, getting to look at the rest of their hand, and getting a search off Leo, that's pretty good. I was playing this a few formats ago, and I feel like it's still pretty good now. Yeah, Mind Crush. And then the last trap is 4 Call the Haunteds. Well, you know, 3 Call the Haunteds, and then 1 Oasis of Dragon Souls that I'm trying out, which is basically Call the Haunted, but in defense position, and it changes your monster's type. Now, I feel like this is much better because, you know, you can activate this and just bring out anything, because, you know, if by chance you have no Heraldic Beasts in grave, and all you have is, like, Kages and Goblinbergs, then Advanced Heraldry Art won't help you out. So this is just a bit more versatile. You can also use this to bring out Xyz monsters with no Xyz material, and then go ahead and refill it with Eagle. And of course, if your opponent ever blind MSTs, chain to the activation, summon Leo. Leo will go to grave, you'll get a search. It's just so powerful. And then you can also use it to bring stuff back during your opponent's end phase, or during their turn should you need to. You know, you can bring out a Leo, with a big 2000 beater. They'll have to get over it, and if they do, you get a search. In some cases, I've brought out a Basilisk during their turn, and they kind of won't want to lose any of their monsters, so they'll just end their battle phase. It's just so useful being a trap. That's why I'm choosing to play 1 Oasis of Dragon Souls to essentially play 4. And that's it for the main deck. Now for the extra deck, really you could just play any generic rank 4s that you have. Don't go by my word, but this is just what I'm playing. 1 Rhapsody in Berserk. He becomes very useful because you can make more than 1 Xyz monster per turn, you know, with Advanced Heraldry Art. So you can go this, banish 2 cards from your opponent's graveyard, and then equip him to one of your other things and give it a nice 1200 boost. Of course, with Eagle, you can recycle the effect because it's not once per turn. So effectively, you can bring this out, banish 4 cards from your opponent's graveyard, and then equip it to something. A while ago when Light Sworns were popular, this helped so much to just pretty much banish their Light Sworns and their Necrogardenas, and then just going for some big damage. And it was sometimes it was hard for them to get past that, especially with my traps and everything. One Gaga Cowboy, that burn is really good, and of course detaching Leo, burn for 800, get a search. That's pretty good, I hear. Sometimes, I think only twice, I've used the attack position effect. It's interesting. One Lavalval Chain. This card's very important. I might want to up it to 2. You might want to up it to 2. If you can afford it. Like, I traded for this when it was like 20 bucks. If it was ever 20 bucks or something. But I got it when it's cheap. And sadly, it's expensive. Hopefully it gets a reprint. But anyway, as you can tell, just detach, ditch Leo, get a search. You know, very good. A lot of the times I can make this, ditch a Leo, get a search, and then I can go advance Heraldry Art and make something else, since I've got a full grave after him. So, you know, on turn 1, that's just very helpful, very good. 1 Exciton Knight, you know, useful. 1 Lightning Chidori, because there are quite a few wins. That's why there's a triple Aberconway, triple Eagle. When the new monster comes out, that's also a win. You know, I want to play 2. Or maybe even, no, 2 is fine. 1 Diamond Dire Wolf, just kind of useful because actually you are actually playing some beasts, so you don't have to pop himself. You can pop a Leo, destroy something, get a Surge. It's just, you're kind of going to be abusing this effect pretty often. You know, 1 101, the 360 no scope, 1 Heartland Draco. I'm actually liking this card. Picked it up a while ago. It's pretty useful. Yeah. A 101. Of course, you can recycle the effect, which is so good. A number 50 Black Ship Corn. I mean, I still have it just because I'm just using a bunch of rank 4s that I happen to have around. If you have anything better, use that. Still pretty useful though. 1 Photon Papilloperative, just to, if your opponent's hiding under anything face down, just helps you get out. And of course, you know, almost an auto detach, which I say this all the time. 1 copy of me. That sounds so wrong or weird. Anyway, 1 copy of King of Feral Imps. Of course, you know, detach your Leo, and then search for your Kage Tokage, you know, and then you get a search off of Leo. So going this card gets you a double search, and sets up your Xyz play for next turn. It's really good, of course, in this deck in particular. Like, and I'm not just saying that because it's me. 1 copy of Ragnar Zero, just some basic removal and destruction. 1 copy of Heraldic Beast, or Heraldic King, Genome Heritage. Most likely you don't know what this card is. He's kind of useful. I just like him at 1 in this deck, just because it's got an interesting effect. You can use it sometimes, but you have the opportunity to make it, because he needs specifically Heraldic Beasts to Xyz summon into him. So mostly you're going to be making him with Advanced Heraldry Art should you need to. But he's like just an ultimate anti-Xyz card. If your opponent has any face-up Xyz monster, he will, without detaching material, he can just negate the effect and make its attack 0, and then his attack becomes its original attack and gains its effect until the end phase. So just going this will pretty much cripple your opponent's Xyz monster. You don't even have to detach material to make your opponent's Xyz monster lose its effect and go to 0 attack. Like, that's just how powerful it is. You know, it's a great card. It's a 24 to begin with. But if you're facing a Draco Sack in attack position and you bring this out, it's just so great because you can just get rid of it. I mean, you can also Castel, but just getting it in the graveyard I feel is kind of better than this. And going in for 2600, yeah, 2600 is just great. It's even great when you go against with this. You can Big Eye your opponent's Big Eye should you need to. This is basically every Xyz monster in the game. And then lastly, just for general beat stick purposes, 1 Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon. Before I guess I was playing Utopia or Gemini Pearl as a beat stick purpose, but I'm liking Dark Rebellion, and a lot of people are. You know, he is a good card. And so that's it for the extra deck. So anyway, that has been my Heraldic Beast deck profile for the January 1st, 2015 format. Of course, this will be changing up very soon because that new support seems like it's on its way, hopefully, which I really can't wait for. But this is just at least the list that I'm playing until that support comes out, because you never really know if or when it'll come out. You know, hopefully it does. But anyway, like I said, this is subject to change. This is just the current build. But once the new support comes out, it just gets so much better. And even still, this deck is pretty good. You have a lot of useful monster effects and some great spells. Like, really, other archetypes wish they could have a card like this. Like, seriously. So anyway, if you enjoyed the content, remember to subscribe and leave a like and a comment to show your support as well. This has been King of Feral Imps, and have a nice day.